Oh, I can't see the screen, so let's see.
It's running.
I know.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Come on! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it close. Come on, come on! All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, come on, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you ride my sleigh tonight? Then all the reindeers loved him, and they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you go down in history forever. You go down in history forever. You go down in history. What?
Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I am MassBlast09, and once again I get to introduce these mighty fine gentlemen here. We have none other than Understudy 77.
Whoa. There you go. Sorry. You threw me.
Don't fuck with my intro. We have Fubaka, and last but not least, trying to fuck shit up, it's the Angstful Vapor, Shikalansa.
Sponsored everyone. It wasn't me trying to fuck up your intro. You're the one who went out of order.
I didn't go out of order. When all four of us are here, I went in the correct order.
No.
I've never been first.
It's Foo, me, Sean, you. Every time.
Sean, Foo, you.
I think what's happening is it's show 200, so he's trying to switch it up.
I know it's been a while since you've seen the show notes, but if you look at the top, it's the same as it's been for 200 episodes.
So it's probably been since about show 200 that I haven't seen the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
You mean show 120?
Yes.
It's funny that it happens the one time you name an episode.
Okay. No, I didn't get to name this episode because it was already named. I was able to append to the end of the episode, always on the back.
Yes, when you name the show 15 minutes before it starts, yeah, what's happening?
I don't know. You like the backdoor master? What are you complaining about?
Shoot love. Somebody's got to do it.
I have to go to a different window, type something, and then go to type in YouTube chat.
Welcome.
What?
Yeah, there's some bug apparently in YouTube chat for me that I have to go to another window, type something, and then go type in YouTube chat. Otherwise, the keyboard doesn't register.
Oh, it doesn't show up on that one. Yeah,
really fucking weird.
I've never seen that before. That's weird.
Is that on Jumanji?
That's on Firefox anyway. It could be a Firefox quantum problem. No, I switched to Firefox because I don't do Hangouts all the time anymore. I only have Chrome open for this. Chrome's too much of a memory hog to bother anymore.
Yeah, I've been running this and running the show in Safari for a while. The show specifically because it seemed like it worked the best.
Yeah, I'm still running the show in Chrome, but I run everything else in Firefox. Because the new one's pretty fucking good.
This I just popped up on chat when I was vaping. Look at my knuckle. Look how nasty that is.
See, all the swelling in mine is gone now, so you can't really tell anymore. But I'll tell that story a bit later.
I'll tell you what happened here. So if you're familiar with Alton Brown and Good Eats, right? For a long time ago, I bought his salt cellar years ago. I mean, probably 6-7 years ago or something. Back when he was still on the air. And his salt cellar has this little handle that kind of goes like that, right? Kind of like a little wavy thing. And my wife has been making a tonic, a health tonic for her friends out of elderberry syrup or elderberries. Anyway, I think I've mentioned on the show before. But anyway, she's doing that.
Have a still in the backyard.
She probably should, because I tell you what stinks worse than anything I've ever smelled is fucking elderberries cooking. Holy shit!
Send me some, please. I'll drink some dingleberries.
So anyway, so she had this giant pot going that she uses to sterilize the jars and stuff as she's jarred it. And my metal wired salt cellar is sitting next to it. And I went out and grabbed it like that to pick it up. Hooked the middle finger on the top of the hook and the back finger underneath, right, and picked it up. And that thing had to have been 700,000 degrees. I about dropped it and shattered it everywhere. The plate I was holding was almost dropped it too. I swore like a sailor. Holy crap. I dropped it. I'm like,
set it insta heat.
Yeah, man. It cooked. Hey, straight up, that's what that is. I got cooked.
So I had a very similar response vocally.
I'm sure.
If you drink too much of that brain tonic, do you end up like this? That helps.
I'll let me click on you. Sadly, that looks like me anyway, just a little more brown.
That looks like, if anyone's familiar with the rapper Earl Sweatshirt, that's what he looks like.
So the last time I was on the show, right, which was 2 weeks ago now, I talked about the floors, my wife's Christmas present being the floors.
Yeah.
So we both kind of overdid it for Christmas, and for Christmas from her, mind you, I went out and bought everything, but it's from her.
It's the 18th of December, dude.
Hey, she got her floors, I got my thing. All right? That's how we do it. I know everything she got me and vice versa. Well, actually, she's got like 5 things that she doesn't know about.
Does it vibrate?
Anyway, I got a HTC.
Not the floor. What he got? God damn, man.
I got an HTC Vive and a computer for VR. And I learned very quickly that VR is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I was playing this arena gladiator game and I was beating the crap out of people with a 2-handed hammer. Good thing I lifted weights. You lose all spatial recognition in VR. Like, just everything goes away when the headset's on except what's there. And I guess I moved from where I was, and I was swinging my hammer to hit a guy, and I cracked the front of my finger on the corner of my wall.
So you're like the lightsaber kid.
Yeah, and oh my God, I dropped the controller, which thankfully connects to your hand. It's dangling. My hand is no longer functioning at this point, and I'm just screaming expletives.
The most important question is did you lose the fight?
I did. So, funnily enough, I paused it, or I thought I paused it, and I was like, I got to go take care of this. So I went up and I iced everything for a while, and I took some pain pills, and about a half hour, 45 minutes later, I went back downstairs. I'm like, I'm going to finish that motherfucking fight. And I put the headset back on, and I was already out of the fight. Like, something must have happened, and I was out of the fight. But so that saddened me. I haven't gone back to try to redo that fight yet because
now you're scared.
So, have you had any issues with your vision and the VR?
I have not actually. They do a lot to try to like prevent motion sickness and shit.
Yeah.
So,
like I didn't get motion sickness. I used the Samsung VR.
Yeah.
And it makes my eyes really tired. Like I can only play a game or two, for maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it's like it just feels like draining.
There's a difference because like I've done the phone VR thing before too, and I wanted the Vive since my hackerspace has a Vive and I've been playing it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think the sheer cost difference in the fucking Vive on top of it too, like they put a lot of technology in there to like
the screen being the big one.
Yeah, like there's a lot there to lighten it and make it, I mean, it gets tiring after a while. You got a big headset on your face and shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's like I've been doing multiplayer games. Like there's a multiplayer paintball and laser tag game, and there's another one that's like Tron Dodgeball, and it's just so much fun, and it's a good fucking workout.
Nasty, I'm actually not surprised that tires your eyes out because I'm thinking about it, and I have the Samsung VR and I haven't used it yet, but basically you're just going like this with your phone screen.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean and
it's magnifying it.
The mirrors in it, but no, like it was. I watched. I had YouTube on there. I set up Plex, and I was able to, and it was really nice watching Plex on there. But the games, it was like I was focused on it so much that like I was playing that zombie game because mine came with like $100 free of games. And that zombie game, man, it's like, you know, you're returning and shooting and, you know, so you're not actually standing up and doing all that. But I don't know, it felt like it felt just very like draining, of just very tired after using it.
A lot of the Vive games I know, like they program for motion, so like it blurs appropriately like it would when you really look, and they're all programmed for that to lessen eye strain.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I didn't get motion sickness or anything like that. It just felt like you know, if you're reading a book for a while and you're not looking up or looking away, or if you're reading a computer screen for a while and you don't remind yourself to look away, that's what it felt like. Like I had been looking at something for like an hour, and I'm like, oh, what's going on?
My problem is getting like stuck where I am. So like even when I was at the hackerspace playing, I'd play something and like I'd play a sit down game.
Yeah.
And somebody would like call me and my phone would ring and I'd reach out and grab my phone and hold it up and not realize why I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Or like I'd reach out to set down the controller on the table only to realize that there wasn't actually a table in front of me and watch the controller fall down to the ground. Like shit like that happens to me a lot.
Yeah, it was nice because with the phones you can hit the button and it'll switch to the front camera so you can see what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. And the Vive has a front camera too, but it kills your frame rate. Like it takes a lot of processing power.
And like on the phones, it's very delayed. So you're like, what just happened?
There's a lot of knife talk going on in the chat, and Kyle was asking about that tiny knife that I picked up recently. It's a Boker.
Yeah,
the little tiny guy.
Someone got that one for me for Christmas, so I can't get it. I have to wait for it now.
Oh,
yeah,
nice little guy. I actually have carted it with me a couple of times lately when I was taking my my squonker with me instead of my Billabong. So
where'd you pick that one up? That one is really nice.
What's that?
Where'd you pick that one up? That one is really nice.
Vaping Art.
Oh.
When I was at Showcase in Dallas, I was talking to Uncle Larry, and he said, "You want to see something cool?" And I said, "Sure." So he showed me this knife. He's like, "Hey, isn't that neat?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's really, really nice." He said, "Let me show you something." And he handed me one that looked almost identical, except for it had a flipper, and the handle was a slightly different texture. And he said, "This one is $60, and the other one with the flipper and the slightly different color was $400." He said, "How cool is that?" I said, "I'll take the $60 one."
That's a really interesting blade shape. That's why I asked.
It is, yeah. It's like some sort of modern Tonto-y sort of style.
Here's the link in side chat. There you go.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Right on.
Pull it up because I might have to pick up one of those.
It's highly decent. It's highly decent. It's so small and light. It really does fit pretty much anywhere. And you know that my knife that I normally carry is.
I mean, mine is still. My normal knife is still small.
Yeah, I love that little guy. I still am looking for a GT, a Razel GT.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I still haven't been able. I keep talking to Larry about it, and he keeps saying he'll look for me, but
I want a Rhino still. But I mean, so Larry owes me one anyway. He owes me a custom. Like, you can have my custom. I'm never going to buy another one.
Oh, I would kill for it.
Can you post that in chat?
Just tell him that he owes me a custom, and I'm willing it to you.
Well, it's not that. It's not a question of that. It's just he just hasn't done that.
Only because I don't think I don't know that my wife will ever allow me to buy another $1,000 knife.
Yeah. Masty, that's a good one. Thanks. I put it in side chat for you.
Okay.
That looks like the right one. So earlier when I was talking about the elderberry thing, we did have a few references to Monty Python. That is the standard line that I've always associated with elderberries. I had no idea what they were until my wife started making this health tonic stuff with it. And I will say that besides the fact that we've all heard that line, I just didn't appreciate how bad they smelled. And this last week when she made this last batch, I woke up in the morning. She was already up and making it. And I woke up wanting to die. I was almost throwing up in bed. My eyes popped open. I'm like, whoa, and I walked out, and because she was trying to not wake me up, she hadn't turned on her external, out the outside fan in the vent cover. She hadn't turned that on, so the whole house was just thick with this elderberry scent. And I can't describe what it smells like other than it smells kind of like grapes, but not grapes, but like grape skin that's been in a compost pile for a while. Like it's kind of rotten, kind of a little grapey, this awful smell, and it makes me want to throw up. Now it doesn't smell like that when you drink it, because I have tried it, but it's definitely, because she sweetens it and she's got all these different essential oils and shit in it. So it's not like that, but when you cook it, oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad. Ugh.
That's all the bad things leaving it when it's cooked.
That's right. I think that's what it is. It's all the evil, just little souls coming out of it.
Does it specifically make that sound? Because that would make me want to try cooking it outside.
I wish. That's just how I envision that it's what it really just does is bubble and stink.
I would never try it inside. I would try it outside.
Beefy.
Yeah, Will, it smells like plague rats and decomposing bodies in Fleet Creek. Yeah, it's about right. It's really bad. It's really bad. All right, clipping this thing on. I did have to modify the clip a little bit. It was too tight, so I had to bend it out a little bit. That's about the only thing I had to do to that knife, by the way.
What y'all vaping on?
Foo?
Because
My brain
9:30.
usually angsty ask me that question.
Yeah.
I am vaping on Foo's Gold in a new Indican tank, the Zenith. Yeah, we're shelling it today, motherfuckers.
That's right.
On the Coal Fire 18650. And I have a Limo with a Mulgaber with Pissed. Yeah, angsty.
I've got my Limelight Freehand, which, well, there's a story behind that, which we'll cover in a little bit. Limelight Freehand inside is Railcracker, of course. There's an Arca on top, on the tip. And of course, I've got, it's actually not even on my desk at the moment because I stuck it back in my pocket. My Billybox Red 4 has got abolishment and a, mine just went totally blank. Exoset inside.
Pissed.
No, abolishment and exoset. I couldn't come up with exoset. And an open tip on top of there too. And last but not least, like Foo, I'm shilling out like crazy. Oh, that's black on black. I got the black one. So this is Phil's and Dimitri's Anakin Clero, which just came today.
I didn't even know they worked on one. Also, I missed something.
It's the other. So they wanted them to come out at the same time. The Eris and this one, which is it the Zenith? Yeah. They wanted them to come out at the same time, and I think there was something that they needed to fix on here, so it didn't come out at the same time. But they wanted to cover, you know how they are. They're for new vapors and people trying to get off of smoking. So rebuildables are not the solution for everybody, and they wanted to have a Clero version. Yeah. So I've only been vaping on this for like literally an hour, but initial impressions, it's the best non-rebuildable tank that Anakin's ever put out.
That's not saying much though, but it's really good.
That's saying quite a bit. The T18 was really good.
I don't consider that in their Clero line though. I'm talking about all the stuff that's come out of
was totally in their Clero line. It was a Clero.
I'm talking about stuff like this and all the other tanks, like the standalone shit, not stuff that came in kits. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that, but I also would agree that even including the T18, I think it's better than that. This is the best one they put out. And Foo, am I wrong? Is the one hole, is it way tighter than the Eris?
Yes.
In a good way. I think it's a really good way. I actually really like that. That's really not bad. And it looks ridiculous on the Easy Watt because it's too wide. Get a little bump there. But I like the size of the Easy Watt.
Your mod showing.
Yeah. Actually, I just realized why should I got this set on? Bright second one. 18 watts. Perfect. That's why it's good, I guess. Schwan.
I got my Gloom back with some changes.
Hooray!
There's a Narca on top of that with some elderberry souls juice. No, that's not true. It's polishment.
No, please, no.
And I have the Bolt with some doors, this one being R2-D2 in honor of Star Wars, with the Phenom, and also Abolishment. I'll talk about that stuff later. Yeah, I'll talk about all that stuff later. Mast.
I had stashes PB&J in my Squonker, little blue guy. I got it apart right now, but it's a little pull to never ever be made ever again. So that's what I had.
What won't be made again?
The stiffy.
The stiffy.
Oh yeah, that's a sad story. I'm sad about it.
Yep. So sad.
So sad.
Oh bad.
Boom.
Um,
I'm a little distracted because I forgot to set something up before the show. So I'm doing that real quick because I'm going to talk about something in a minute. So if you don't mind filling for a sec.
Sure. So you'll probably want to throw in on this, and you may have done it last week, but I am finding that I enjoy the Narca more every day.
I do enjoy the Narca quite a bit. I don't still like the fact that it's a slam cap. Hopefully one day he will be putting out a normal cap for it.
I've heard some rumors and some things and some rumblings.
He has mentioned it in the site in the group now.
I am excited for the day when a non-metal cap option is available too, because this one gets hot as shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am a really big fan of the Narca, and I've kind of grown to appreciate it more the longer I've baked it. Everything that I said 2 weeks ago still holds true, right? The Narda is still a really good atomizer. It's still just about as good. But I have grown very attached to this guy over the last 2 weeks, given that it's really, other than vaping the Phenom and trying a couple different builds in the Phenom today, just to talk about it, I haven't really touched anything else. Depending on what mod I've taken out, I've moved the Narca from mod to mod because it's really the Addy that I want to vape.
How do you move that?
We just talk about Netflix. Troll Hunters Season 2 is a Netflix original and just came out and is awesome.
Dude, I just saw that last night. I saw that there's another season out.
Awesome. I watched it over the weekend. It's phenomenal.
Did you?
Yes. It's great. I was super happy with it.
That was one that you suggested that I watch. Oh, I'm getting some echo. That was one that you suggested I watch a while back, and I did, and it was good. I think I would watch the show again before I watched the second season because it's been long enough to where I probably don't remember.
Two, and I'm going to go back and rewatch them together.
What's the premise?
It's a Gorilla di Torno animated series about a kid who becomes a troll hunter, which is somebody who protects like a secret place of trolls, like the secret society of trolls and weird mythical creatures.
Gay.
It's a surprisingly good story.
Okay, good for you.
No, it was. I kind of enjoyed it, and it was a little bit of a different style of animation than most of the stuff I normally watch, but it was pretty good.
Really a Di Torno thing. It was the animation, I feel like, is what set it apart. Like, it was just a really odd, like, he really got to visualize things very differently in that show, and it was something that did it very well. I was a big fan of that. I ended up being a big fan of season 2, and I guess they're going to wrap it up with season 3, so there's going to be one more, and that's going to end that story specifically, which is good, because I like when things actually end appropriately rather than just getting canceled for no reason.
Yes.
Was that in my headphones, or is someone driving something loud outside, or is it one of you?
No, that was my dog.
I was going to say, it could have been my dog snoring.
I thought I heard a very low rev outside.
That was Juno going. She's like, "Shut the hell up." That was her. Huh?
I was listening. I'm like, okay, switching to second gear. When's that going to happen?
Yeah, that was her going. It's like a big cow. You hear her? Yeah. She's not happy about all the talking. That, and probably that she's gone on a diet too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's getting half the food and to supplement is green beans. So They're
Okay.
eating pretty damn good.
Green beans.
Real dark.
Yeah.
There's some mashed tater.
Yeah, so instead of 2 cups of food, it's 1 cup of food and 1 cup of green beans. All the fiber fills them up.
Gotcha.
Yep. Instead of
Give them too much fiber.
Instead of spending a bunch of fucking money on weight loss food.
Mm-hmm.
So she eats the same amount as the other ones. It's just
Weight loss food for dogs. Where have we gone as a society?
Yeah, well, that's what all the vets want you to fucking feed them.
Of
You
course,
know?
we're getting hashtag kickback, son.
There's weight management, dude. So we have a little corgi puppy, right? He's a little over a year old now, and we had to go to the vet recently because he fucked up his toe or his paw. And the vet is checking him over, and they're like, he is in really good shape for a corgi. I said, yeah. They go, most corgis are really fat. I said, we don't give our dog a shit ton of food because you're not supposed to. She goes, yeah, most people don't know that. They're just really fat and unhealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever you give them, you want to give them, make sure that they're, fresh. And if they're canned, that they don't have any added salt because they don't need any extra salt. But yeah, it's good. It fills them up, and it's good, source of vitamins and instead of cutting back their food and, because they gotta with a bigger dog, you want to make sure you're not, you spread the meal so that way, it helps with bloat and all that other shit. And so
we've done really good with moving off of primarily corn-based foods.
Yeah.
Corn-based foods blow up dogs, and it's all fucking sugar, and it's really bad for them, and just make them hyper and shit. So we moved to the more all-natural food, which is unfortunately fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
Yeah. My brother had a pug, which is another breed that tends to get quite overweight, and his did, and his vet was the same thing. That they recommended this food that's no corn, none of this other shit. And when he finally started buying that, his coat improved, his weight improved, his breathing got better, everything just got better than corn shit.
It makes a huge difference if you buy your food at a small pet store that does the smaller batch stuff compared to going to Walmart and buying your pet food.
Yeah. Now, see, we don't get crazy with the food we feed them. I feed them a Eagle Pack, which is the, it's a good food that I can buy in big ass bags. But the CFO of the local Ben and Jerry's down here, he actually is retired and working on the side, but he used to work for Eagle Pack and a few of the distributors up in Iowa, I think it was. And when he tells you, he's like, yes, some of this food, it's they just grind shit up, and and you see it in the news, because here's the thing: when you start talking to people about food, okay, it's not like I have a little 5-pound dog that I'm feeding this much food. They're fucking 90, 100 plus pound dogs, multiples. So you're going through some food, and the amount of food will affect them. Well, a few years in the news, there was all of a sudden all these dogs started dying from shit in the food that was just from grounded up chickens that they were putting in their food. Why? Well, there's your old Roy or whatever it is, bags of shit in Walmart that you can buy 100 pounds of for $5. Now, again, no offense to anyone who has fed old Roy to old Roy, but I mean, it's the same with humans. You eat shit, you're gonna fucking, it's gonna be, you're gonna have skin issues, you're gonna have all kinds of shit. So, again, I don't go crazy with Holistic Select or Blue Canine or whatever the other fucking shit is, or Royal Canin. All these. I mean, these are crazy. And I also don't cook for my dogs. The only time I've ever cooked for one of the dogs was when they had stomach issues, like Juno had, and we found out it was rawhides. She would not chew the rawhides, so she would eat large pieces of rawhide. And dude, let me tell you something. You will fucking cook some rice and beans and feed it to your damn dog. White rice and just boiled chicken. You'll do that instead of taking them to the fucking emergency vet. Oh, yeah. One trip to the emergency vet, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. So, and we had to because she was just shitting and throwing up blood. what do you do? You know, the dog's, you know, a year and a half, 2 years old, and it's like 9 o'clock at night, and it's just wow, and just blood comes out, and shit, blood comes out, and it's shit, and all, you know, it's like, all right, something's up, and that's all it was. It was a fucking piece of.
All right, something's up. There's blood shit coming out of both sides.
So I hate to put it this way, but it's one of the upsides of our big guy getting on the older side. Because, like, we do the Arcana stuff, and it's like fucking $70 for a 30-pound bag.
Jesus
The
Christ.
big dog eats a lot of food. But he's getting on the other side, and he's starting to slow down a little bit. And once it's his time, right, we only got the little dog to worry about, and then it gets significantly more affordable.
I tell you what, I am never, ever doing fucking 3 dogs again. And my wife agrees with me, so...
I'm a 1-dog person. I always have been. My wife is not that way, but we agreed that going forward, at least for a while, we can only do 1 dog.
Dude, and 3 gigantic. I mean, I go through 30 pounds of food in probably about a week, and so, you know.
The reason we ended up having to switch because our big guy, and I mean, you've met him, he's had stomach issues his whole life.
Yeah.
So putting him on the expensive stuff ended up being really good for him. It's one of the only things that doesn't cause him to have bad stomach problems.
Try having a younger that's allergic to everything and complain to me about spending money on food.
Thankfully, he's not like allergic to grass like some dogs. Like that would suck.
Yeah.
Dude, there's an amount of natural selection that we've removed from the gene pool.
I mean, let's not pretend we haven't removed it from people either.
Yeah, but the least people can survive. If a dog is meant to be on the grass, and if they're allergic to the grass, they're probably not going to be killing anything and surviving.
And honestly, I see, you know, like Duro's saying, you know, one more than 1 dog's too much, and that's true. You know, we had Ammo, who's a Weimaraner, had him for a few years, and then we decided, okay, you know, 2, and then that's it, and it was a rescue. Okay, so, and then, you know, 4 or 5 years later down the road, a friend of my wife said, look, there's a full-bred Weimaraner female, a year old, at the freaking dog pound. A couple that was married got her, and in the divorce, they just took her to. They paid like $1,600 for this purebred female Weimaraner, and they just took her to the pound. You know, so she's like, "You have a Weimaraner, and you know, do you want to do a rescue for a little bit, and then or foster, and then go and you know."
There you go. He says hi
so
to everybody.
You woke him
He's
up for
been
that.
hiding in my office since we did the floors. He's been living down here with me.
Do you have a real Christmas tree this year?
No, I can't have a real Christmas tree.
Okay, because I don't know what the hell it is about my Christmas tree this year, but these fuckers just go and like last week, here comes Lilo, my lab beagle, with a fucking branch this big. Just dude, I'm surprised it didn't have the freaking ornament still on it.
Hey, Dad, I found a stick inside.
I'm serious. And Allison's like, you need to come out here and look at this. The fucking tree. Luckily, they didn't knock it over. Was in the middle of the room. She had pulled on it and pulled it into the middle of the room because we got tile. And here she is, like in the living room with this branch sticking out. I'm like, And then Ammo decides that all the pine needles are on the ground. He's going to lick and eat. That's just got to not feel good going in and coming out.
Definitely coming out.
Pine needles.
Has your kid taken to deconstructing your Christmas tree, Mast?
No, she knows better. I she went up the one time and in Spanish I told her, I was like, you want Papa? And she was like, okay, nope. So now she just goes and points at the probably that, and she's probably scarred from me yelling at the dogs for eating the damn tree. But no, she doesn't really mess with it much. She'd rather go into the dog cages and put every single toy that she has in the dog cage and then get in the dog cage and close the door and just like play in there. And, which is a pain in the dick when you got to get all this shit out of there.
Hey, Massey, Luke Snow wants to know, is that acrylic paint on the wall?
Okay, so on the other side of this wall is the Chinese sweatshop, and I run a nail salon. So that's what's there. That's part of the
backstock. Backstock.
That's part of the stock. No, yeah, that's my wife's nail polish collection. So my sister made her the racks to put them up because they were just in. Actually, the first container that I got, which was a rubbery container with a handle on it when I started vaping, was to put my juice in, was her old one that she had all that shit in, which was a little square one like this. and actually, I still have it over there in the shelf, and I think that's what prompted to put that stuff up on the racks when I just it's mine now.
Yeah, here you go. I'll share something. I had to edit this photo out of respect for my wife, but
look at that. Yeah, mine has a little. Is that a rocking horse?
Yeah, that's what mine Christmas.
How apropos.
Mine has one of the plastic ones. I don't even know what the hell brand is, Fisher Price, whatever. Well, she's figured out that she can stand up and run while she's pushing it on the tile, and then sit down and rock as she's sliding, fucking banging into. Yeah, we had to take it and put it outside because she was just like, I'm like, bro. I was like, I ain't got time for no stitches. We're gonna use freaking duct tape and super glue. So don't even.
It was a nice little rocking horse. I found it at Target one day, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good Christmas present."
Yeah,
and she likes.
I don't know what it is this year about the tree. I don't get it. It's like the tree was already Charlie Brown to begin with, fucking Lowe's, and now I've talked to a few other people that have got their trees at Lowe's. No, it's like it didn't open all the way. You look at it wrong, and the fucking pine needle's just like. And I'm like, again, the Christmas tree in Florida, but my house is the hottest it gets during the day is like 78 maybe, but it's got water, everything. It's just there's shit.
Dude, I went. My wife found a pre-owned artificial tree that had lights on it, like 15. Well, it was like 13 years ago, like when we first met, and we've been using it ever since. And at some point, all the lights went out, so she went through and unthreaded all the lights. Took them off, rethreaded a bunch of new lights, and we'll still use it. We use the damn thing every year. It works fine.
Why did you put your Coke lights on it?
What?
Why didn't you put your Diet Coke lights on it?
Yeah, I should put my Diet Coke lights on it.
You should.
I kind of like it.
But I mean, honestly, like the smell of the tree and stuff like that is nice. But you know what? You get those little fucking things that hang on a fake tree and smell just the same without having to deal with all of that bullshit that is vacuum every day. I mean, thank God for the Nito. That fucker is full of pine needles every day, but I mean it's just
my family when I was a kid was my dad would always buy real trees, and I just after having dealt with it with him, and then at some point I was responsible for it because I was the oldest, and watering the tree and make sure it's all cleaned up and shit. Fuck that. When I had my own place, it's artificial is totally cool. If I want it to smell like pine in the house, I'll get a little fucking aerosol thing and they're done.
Yeah.
We went out. We were gonna buy like a 7-foot tree, colored lights, and the lady's like, "Oh, there's one left in the back." They brought it out. We got to the checkout, realized it was a 7.5-foot tree with white lights. Didn't feel like trying to work that out while we were waiting in the busy ass line because we were late getting our tree.
Mm-hmm.
And just went with it, and it's nice. Other than that, the star pretty much touches our ceiling.
Wow.
I mean, it really fills up the room quite nicely, I must say. But I am all about fake trees.
Yeah. So you can't have one because of allergies or something?
I'm allergic to pine.
What's it do? Just
I
make you
actually
sneeze or
don't
something?
know.
Oh,
Once
boy.
upon a time, I was allergic to pine.
Great to find out.
Well, I could never have one once upon a time, but most of my allergies that I had when I was a kid are gone now.
Yeah.
So I may not have a problem with it, but I also don't want the hassle. So I just don't.
I see.
Will says, cut down proper tree, then cut tree to fit room. This is why men own saws. I thought it was like cut down a proper tree and then cut the room to make the tree fit. I thought that was what you do.
Yeah.
If I'm cutting up my room, I'm cutting out banisters so I don't bash my hand playing VR anymore.
So while we're speaking about trees and vape batteries and fires, let's remind us of this awesome video of what happens of a dry tree versus a water tree. Look how fast that shit goes up.
Hold on. Holy shit.
Jesus
Look at
Christ.
the time.
Zoomed in on a mini room.
Another reason to buy fake.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could see in the water tree is just, what up, bro? And over there on the right is California. So
that is crazy. That actually has happened this year. Christina bought some new topper or something to put on top of the tree, and we were sitting there one night, and all of a sudden I heard pop.
Oh,
I was like, oh shit! I jumped up and unplugged it.
Get the water, get the water.
Bulbs popped.
Yeah. I mean, look, the house is gone, and the other tree's still trying to burn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy. Just the speed of.
So
when you go to the
what I'm
when you go
really
to the beginning of
curious
that video,
about is where they got two houses that look exactly the same with exactly the same furniture for this tunnel.
Rob Jones' side chat just said, "Is that is that an e-leaf tree?"
oh my god, how perfect would that be? Someone photoshopped a bunch of e-leaves on there. I mean, like seriously, it's like, oh, e-leaf, wham, 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you're done. You're done now. I mean, there you go. Water your tree.
Water your tree or buy a plastic one.
Yeah.
Ooh, just say it.
We
Um,
we actually had a 1 year back in high school. We found that the local city they do this tree lighting every year, and there's like this 45-50 foot tree that is pretty much a telephone pole in the middle, and it's got basically all the decorations on it that lay flat, and you just pull on a winch and it just 30, 40, 50 foot tree, whatever. Well, it was at the auction 1 year and nobody wanted to buy it, and it was like $45. So we bought it and put it in front of our friend's house and lit it. And he came home. He was not happy.
Wait a minute, Megan, I just said plastic burns just easy. No, it doesn't. Then a dry pine? I don't think.
Plastic burns fast as fuck also. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Battery Mooch can tell us how fast a plastic tree would burn.
Battery Mulan.
So I actually have some vaping shit to talk about before we get to special guest time, which is a
Me too.
Do it.
Me too.
Do it, Foo.
You ready, Nasty?
What? Oh, yeah.
You know I'm talking about, motherfucker.
Yeah. Hold up. Oh God.
Hey, while you set that up, why don't I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you need a minute. So
yes, I do.
I got a package.
No, I don't.
What?
I said I don't anymore.
I know, but I should probably do this earlier.
Go ahead. Continue.
So I got a package in today from some people, and it happened to be from China, and it was from Anakin, and they sent along. They sent along a stocking, and
a Zen stocking.
It's a Zen stocking. I don't know. Didn't know they knew Zen. And they also sent on.
It looks like the vapes at 20 watts.
That's right. And they also sent on one of these guys, and I thought this was really cool. So this is the Indira T. Whoa, you see that, the T20S. We talked about this a while back because they sent it, but they sent a special one on. Let's see, can you get it in here? Yeah. Oh, it's hard to do this towards the camera. It's a Happy Christmas T20S. I thought this was really cool, and I do appreciate Anakin setting that on. That was very kind of them. So what I would like to do is I want to send this to one of you as part of a Merry Christmassy sort of thing.
And we got to pick it. We got to pick a winner for the contest from last week.
Yeah, we do.
Can I enter because I'm not on Anokin's mailing list anymore?
Yeah, you're not on their mailing list anymore because you're not on the show very often.
Yes.
I guess
Someone is getting one of these for the contest that we did.
Oh, we already know who won.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Massey's got that contest. So I wanted to send this on to someone, and I will include that mouth to lung thing that we are just talking about just a moment ago. The Zenith. I've got another one of these that doesn't go on here. This has already got a tank in it, but this is another Clearo. So I'll send that on to somebody, and I would get you a link. I've got a form to fill out if you guys want to do it while we're watching. Getting the link now. Let's see. Accepting responses. Preview. No. How did you? Was it a share button? Where the hell is this thing? I forgot how to do this. It's been a while since we.
Just read Kyle's comment. A local near me had weed flavored e-liquid once, tasted like straight pine. Is it no? Where the hell is the stinking list?
So while you figure that out, why doesn't Foo start?
Yeah, go ahead, Foo. Ready.
It's back. It's back.
It's back.
Doesn't look familiar to me.
Oh my god.
So funnily enough, I got the idea to do this again. I'm like, wait, I have to go and look on Instagram, and I didn't think I'd get it in time, and I had 3 in like 5 minutes. Look at this shit, man.
What's with the robber down at the bottom?
Yeah, for real. Is that supposed to be a representative of the FDA? Come to take our vapes?
Oh my god. What is wrong with her nails?
Your nails are hella, though.
Oh my lord.
No.
Oh man. Welcome.
But that was very well done. So I did figure out the link. I'm putting it in chat right now. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna put your name in there, and towards the end of the show, I'm gonna do a rando and draw for the awesome T20S, and then the Zenith and a pack of coils for that as well. And I'll send that on to you soon. Now, enter that if you would find any of that useful, and that includes if you need it, or if you've got a special someone this holiday season that you might be seeing that could use a mod to try to maybe get off smoking. I'd like to see that if possible. But enter in.
Yeah,
Links inside chat.
Says broken link.
Oh, is this broken link?
Yep, 404.
Yep, broken link.
Oh, I did that by that thing. Here, I'll try it again.
404.
I'll get the full link. Maybe this will work.
Did you do the tutorial?
Yeah.
I did a short one. Maybe that didn't work in here. Try that.
First.
Yeah, that
What you got, Pooh?
Yeah, that one works.
That works.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit about this. Anything you want to throw in my...
Yeah, I mean, we can't talk about it too much because we just got it. But
We just got it, but I've been vaping on it since like 6 my time, so like the last 4-ish hours. I like it so far. It hasn't leaked on me, the Zenith.
yeah,
What I haven't figured out is how do you get the coil out? Because I unscrewed the bottom.
it's like all the other Anakin things. You unscrew the bottom cap and you grab the end of the coil and pull it straight up.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm going to ask before I take pliers to this.
That's it.
That aside, I filled it up with Foos Gold, vaping it at 17.5 watts. It's been enjoyable so far.
I think it's really fucking good. Surprisingly enough,
I actually think the draw is better on this than the ours. So
for mouth to lung, absolutely. But it still does a very reasonable, very restricted lung.
So I was a little disappointed because when I opened it up, what's missing from here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some shit for me to draw on, right?
Faces.
But include an extra coil. This is a 0.8. There's a 1.6 in here. They sent coils too, so they sent a pack of 0.8s and 1.6 is the recommended wattages on them, respectively, are 10 to 14 watts and 15 to 18 watts. I'm living dangerously. I'm running above the recommended wattage on the 1.6 on coils. It says 14 watts max. I'm at 17.5, so yeah. Tastes good.
Lasty, did you fill out my link?
I'm actually, I'm gonna give this the work. I haven't taken an RTA.
Too bad you.
It's been about a year since I've taken an RTA to work or like out of the house in general. So.
You like my state?
Wow. Anyway, I haven't taken an RTA to work or out of the house really since the K-Fun 5, so this will get to go.
Is that right? You haven't taken one out of the house? Like a
Not really. Maybe like to run errands and shit, but like a whole day, like a work day, for instance. No, I don't think I have. I just take a squonker with me. I've actually taken drippers out since, but yeah. So I like it so far. Angsty likes it, so I mean,
it's so far so good. It really is. I can really say that I think this is the best Clero that Hooligans ever put out, and the other ones haven't been bad. They haven't been great, but they haven't been bad. This is way better. I'm really surprised.
Because the last one they sent us, remember, Massey took the cotton out. It looked like toilet paper that got wet and then dried.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't taste good. It just
I thought this was going to be bad because the juice flow holes were tiny in that head. They're really small.
Yeah. During is the Zenith. Boom. Yeah,
it's Phil and Dimitri's Clearo.
Yeah, they made a Clearo version of the Aries. It's good so far. This is all it took, man. You just needed 2 greasy dudes to design some tanks, and Anakin is more in my good graces now than they were previous because you know me.
There's a couple cons. The fact that it's got shit written all over it, you know, like open and close and stuff on it, like
it's user friendly. Okay,
it's very user friendly, but you need that once. That's something maybe should be a sticker or an instruction card. And the drip tip thing is like that's weird. It looks odd, but it freaking works, and it's saturated. Like it tastes. Abolishment tastes good. I'm surprised.
I'm gonna keep chain vaping it because I can't hide a dry hit.
Yeah.
I can't hide one of those. I have to. I can't remember for the life of me what episode it was, but I think it was during tech time, and you know I was muted, and I had literally one of the worst dry hits ever.
Yeah.
And I remember I had made that face, the dry hit face, but I can't remember. I can't remember what episode it was. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm liking it so far.
I had one of those too. I had to mute, so I didn't, and I turned my camera off, so I almost threw up on air. It was so bad.
That was just I wrote that one out. I was like,
yeah, I didn't either. I choked it down. It was bad.
Still, ain't no dry hit like a K-Phone dry hit.
Ain't no dry hit like the 300-watt dry hit I hit that one night.
Oh,
that honestly, I feel like the K-Phone's equivalent only because of how fucking small its chamber is, and you're like, that was 15 watts.
You were supposed to fix the vaping, not make it worse.
Hey, Sean, you still awake?
How tight does this
Steve?
It gets very
so take a wild guess on this image. How much that camera sitting there floating is. It's a red.
Is it a red? Yeah.
It's a red weapon.
So I'm guessing $4,000 to $6,000 or higher.
I was gonna say $3,800.
No. So that's a $15,000 drone. Okay. No, wait. That's a $15,000 quad. Okay.
Oh, the quad.
The camera is anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000.
What?
So that's one of the high end red cameras then.
The gimbal is $1,600 and $1,000 for the radio. So you have a fucking $50,000 to $75,000 camera sitting there, but it's okay because the quad comes with a parachute just in case of a malfunction, which is going to do you a lot of good when you're hovering 50 feet above the ground. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, y'all better have insurance on that shit.
Right.
I mean, that's how they're doing all movies now, though, man. Shooting them like that.
I mean, I will say those red cameras are something else, but I've seen the machining of their bodies and stuff. It's pretty dope, but
they make a couple cheaper ones too that I know of that are.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I think they're coming out with a phone now that's a red phone, and
I didn't know that.
Stuff. Yeah, it's like $1,600, which it's not as far fetched that now because fucking iPhone is over $1,000, but yeah. So yeah, it's a whole phone. I think it's got an actual built-in zoom or something like that. I'm sure somebody in chat will put it. But anyways, just crazy.
Somebody's asking how tight this thing gets, by the way, with one air hole. I don't know how tight that is, but that's got to be, I would say it's a millimeter. It's super, super tight. It's actually tighter than the Aries gets. The Aries with one hole is still more than this. This is properly tight.
Do you got other stuff, Fu, Brian?
Yep. I got one other thing. So the other thing that I got from my my soldering stuff came today. Lasty, that cool little tip cleaner thing that I ordered. So it's stainless, and it's got the brass pad in there. And the neat thing about it is it's got this little clicky stand thing, so you can rested.
Yeah.
That's this guy on there, which I really like. And the feet, doesn't have feet. It's got one big like kind of matte, grippy.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of thing.
That's not. I got the Huckle, this guy here, and I've changed the internals out on it. I mean, you can tell there's kinds of solder and shit, and
you can hear it.
Yeah, it's like Christmas surprise in there. But yeah, you can unscrew the top and dump. I usually will just dump the whole thing away and put a new one in. But yeah, I wish it would have like a flat. This one's got feet, so
yeah. I thought about that was the one that you recommended to me. But when I saw the stainless one, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
nice. It's got the stain on it too. So
yeah. And the stain. Well, and that was key for me because I didn't have one of the like your Weller has got that little stand, right? You can jam it in and hold it. This one doesn't have that, so I figured that would be useful. It was only like $2 more or something. It wasn't expensive, but it did take a few more days to get here.
Nice.
So there's that. What else did I get? Can't talk about that thing because we're testing it. And there is one more thing I need to talk about. So I found out just before the show that my Gloom is heading home. Nice. And go to find out it's not my Gloom, it's a new one because apparently they lost my Gloom.
Whoops.
Yeah, so it fell off the bench or into somebody's pocket or something because my Gloom was nowhere to be found. So that's why it's been taking so long. So that's good to know. But Dayon did make me another one and is sending it now. And I'm really excited about it. Really, really excited. And I haven't decided what I'm going to say about this, but I do feel like I need to say this because I've been using this thing for a long time now, and I feel like I need to be clear about it. I've had some weird performance issues lately. Like I haven't been able to properly drain my battery down as much as I normally would. Like it seems to be getting weak right at like 3.8 volts or something. And before it was more like 3.7 or 3.6 or less before it was done. And I would, recharge the 5As up to, like 1700 mAh. And this thing is more like 900 to 1000 now with the same batteries. So that's kind of a problem. So I shot a couple of videos for a day on and showed it to him. And I think what's going to need to happen is I need to switch my 510 out. But after talking to Michael Torres, who's one of the people there at that works for Limelight here in the States, he's pretty sure that it's just a 510 problem as well. And that's kind of what Dayon was mentioning as well. So I think what I may do is just swap that out. Apparently. And what Mike had told me was that that it's user serviceable, so it's something that I can do here in the house. So that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. So I may have to get that thing fixed as soon as the Gloom comes back. And this is kind of funny because it's the first time that I've used this in a while, but it was kind of driving me bananas earlier. So I actually broke out that. Whoa, I was vaping regulated for the first time in months. I broke my D out and was using that for a while, but. For the show tonight, I kind of wanted to go back to the norm. So we're back out to this thing, even though I'm not discharging it as fully as I'd like. But now they're talking about cannabis in the side jet. Come on.
I did get my Gloom back.
I'm jealous about that.
That's the thing that happened last week, the day after the show, which is why I waited till this week. And I had a few things changed because I got my original Gloom in a trade with Mr. Will. So when DeHaan offered, I had a few things changed. So I kept the white logo and the black Gloom and all that, but I changed out to a nice bright white button N510, which just really sets this guy off nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't know better, I would swear that this was a new Gloom too, because there were a few like little scratches and stuff on the old Gloom that no longer exist on this Gloom.
I'd be surprised if he swapped the body out. He usually reuses the body. But he can
recondition everything down to perfect.
You can recondition them pretty well though. That stuff is hard as nails. And even the surface scratches, whatever, you can give it a light.
So I have been particularly pleased to have this back. As much as I did get on very well with the bolt. And I've still used the bolt a couple times, primarily when I needed to go somewhere that I was less concerned. The bolt is a little lighter, and it's very nice. I took the bolt to see Star Wars, actually. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But
spoilers.
No, I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm not even going to say what I thought of the movie.
Okay.
Because that's not appropriate in terms of the movie. But very happy to have this back. with the Narca sitting on top. Can't wait for a black cap to eventually come for this because it'll be perfect. But very happy with that setup in general. And the reason why I took the Bolt with me to go see Star Wars is because R2-D2 door. I quite like this door. And I mean, the guy was very nice. I bought one door and we talked about a couple others, and he saw it in his kindness to send a few others as well. So I got a Stormtrooper door. This was a completely different buy. I got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles door that I just wanted because it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if Fu ever gets himself a Bolt, he will have a Darth Vader door.
Hashtag Barbie shit.
Yeah,
Playing dress up with your mods.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, it's Sean. I mean,
I've always loved that stuff, and I got matching little switches for all of it too.
he's going to buy 3 other mods if they have Star Wars doors.
Well, I wanted the R2-D2 door. That was the one that I really wanted, was because the mod is blue and the R2-D2 is blue and white and looks good. So I have the Phenom on here. And I know, Brian, you've talked at length about the Phenom, and I hadn't really given it a fair shake last time. I feel like I've given it about as fair of a shake as it's going to get. And
Did you build it with anything other than 27?
that's all I build with.
Okay, well,
So as fair as a shake as it's going to get. That's all I have is 27. It's parallel 27, but all I have is 27. I am not as impressed as you guys, and it could be because it's an abolishment thing, and it could be, my suspicion is I don't like the way he did the air. I've always been a bigger fan of like thin, flat, and around, so that as you close off, you're still getting like maximum coverage across your coil. Where this guy I have almost fully closed down, and I don't know if it'll show. But it's still this big, tall pillar that I don't feel like it gets as good of coverage on the coil. And at the same time, I just don't like that air style as much as the side slot. I'm not getting the same out of it. I'm not really it's good. I mean, it's as good as anything else that's like this that's not a Narda. But it's not, better than the other stuff that I've tried, like the one that Kudzu is making and stuff like that, in my opinion. I don't think it's really any better than that stuff.
That is something that I did not test in it. I didn't test abolishment in it. So I haven't tried that. But I knew it was with bakery, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I vape one juice, which is abolishment. And I get it like this because it's the one juice I vape, and I have another one of these coming to refill this one. So that's really all I got. That's what I test it with. And I may try to play with it more and update, because I've been so genuinely concerned with the Narco that I haven't had a lot more to try anything else. And the next thing I'm not coming on here this week is I don't really have to try other things if I want to. But I figured since we're coming on tonight, I'd give it a shot, because it's the 200 show and all that shit, and it's almost Christmas. And I did say I'd be back for Christmas, so.
Yep.
But I'm just not at a level of impressed yet, and I guess I can try fucking around with coil positioning more, which I probably will, and I did quite a bit, but I don't have it to a happy place, and it just seems really loud to me. Like, just in general, it feels very loud to me in comparison to the Narda and the Narca. So, not overly impressed. But it's not bad. But that's my opinion on that. And I don't think I have anything else to give opinions on, because we have other stuff to do tonight.
We do.
Mass, do you have anything to give opinions on?
I don't have my show notes up.
Whoa.
Surprise.
Somebody's gone pretty
There's
bad.
some serious echoes.
I heard it once earlier, and then now it's back.
I have one other thing to talk about.
Yes. Well, I mean, one of the things, I don't know if we were going to cover, was our buddy Biggles has got a 50% off Valentine and Homeward, and 20% off everything else. So he's got a sale going on right now, and a giveaway going on Reddit. I know that there's somebody that made a post about the the DNA 167 dual squonker. Basically, it has a. I'll show the image of it here in just a second. The dual 18650, but the placement of the 510 brings it a little too dangerously close to the batteries because of how long it is. So here's an image of it. Let me pull this up, and here it is. So it actually shorted this guy's battery. So there's the 510, and here's the damage. Next image. All right, there we go. So basically, yeah, and it's worse than the other one too. Basically, said he got it a few days ago and was busy. Opened it up. Pleased with the mod, smaller than expected, and it was really lightweight. So he had a couple pairs of brand new VTC 5As. They go in the mod. The whole day passed, and I kept enjoying the beauty of the squonker. I was just so in love with it. And here comes the shit part. In the evening, my batteries were almost drained. I had only 18% left of juice left in them, so I decided to change them up and insert a fresh pair. I open up the mod, I remove the squonk bottle and try to remove the batteries, and I'm trying to carefully remove them, and I see a spark. Just paused by a second one, and basically it shorted against that. So with the positive end, so I and that was this was the Revel Vape DNA 167. I guess the 3D printed one. So but anyways, check it out. Oh wow, that voice.
So on that note, we do have a very special guest to join us here in oh wait a minute, you can hear him.
So much for hiding.
There he is. That was very surprising.
Oh, it just let me.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to play the intro or not because they could see him or not.
It just let me right in, so I didn't know.
Well, you were out.
There was an plan.
Welcome, Mooch, for the first time ever on the Plumes of Hazards. What up, man?
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Oh, I do like your shirt. That's pretty funny. Yeah, sarcasm side effects. Very nice. I was wondering what was underneath it.
I'd guess that you're an engineer.
Wait a minute. Can you hold your coffee mug back up? Why do you have vaginas all over?
That was made by the Primitive Technology guy. It's made completely out of pine sap.
No, actually, it's bee excrement, and you just kind of compact it together. It's waterproof that way.
Bee excrement. So it's that shellac or whatever, right? The stuff that they make. Are you serious?
I have no idea. No, It's made out of ceramic.
No, ceramic. That's much less interesting because bees do make a shellacky. I'm trying to remember the technical word for it. They have a byproduct of a wax that is like a super water resistant glue, basically, like almost like CA glue. Anyway, it makes more sense that it's ceramic.
I come back in.
No, this is the best part. Is we do it all live.
It's gone downhill since episode 100 or something like that you did with us.
I'm still trying to figure out why he's got vaginas on his mug. That's very strange.
Some call them leaves, but others.
I assume they're.
The mug's been deflowered. I get it.
Perhaps it's a Texas thing. I don't know.
Oh boy!
You
Welcome.
might be lonelier than you're letting on.
In case you guys have been living under a rock or not vaping for very long, either one is entirely possible. The gentleman that we have joining us here, who's clicking his mic,
Oh, can you hear that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, guys.
And I
Yeah.
for one, have been under a rock, so I appreciate the intro.
Sorry, guys. I don't hear anything when I do that, so I've always felt free to just adjust as necessary. I won't do that anymore.
You should totally adjust as necessary. I was just pulling your leg.
Dum, dum, dum.
So if you can, well, again, if you've not been paying attention, the gentleman that's standing here, his nickname is Battery Mooch. Mooch, you want to tell us a little bit about what you do, like what you've been doing the last year or two in vaping?
Other than having the most aggressive hat bending vaping.
This is nothing. The one I had for over 20 years, it was the perfect just touching of the brim. It was awesome, but it finally cracked up here after.
Almost touching, so almost no.
You work on it. It's not something that happens in 20 years. It's a lifetime endeavor. It's a calling. A few people.
Anything is better than flat brim. So
Right.
you gotta have a bend. You cannot be.
If you have extra, if you have free time, there's you just can't cook down. It's something you do.
The
Very
hats-
slowly.
The hats, the fitted hats they gave us in baseball, I couldn't curve the brim too much because then the hat wouldn't fit my head. They were that janky.
Well, a lot of them
Yeah.
have the almost like waterproof cardboard in the brim, and you find out quickly that just cracks.
Yes.
But you get the ones with the plastic, and you got just fresh out of the dryer. You kind of got to hold it bent until it cools off, and it's a lifestyle. And you're making fun of that, but and yeah,
Hey, man,
next thing you know, my sleeves will be an issue.
That's
I've
right.
seen much more- I have seen much more ridiculous lifestyles than hat bending, like vaping.
I actually
That's right.
got this some guys ranch hands out west who some visiting I was doing for several summers, and I just liked that it was all the way down. I thought it was pretty cool because I just looked at it and went, "What?" And it just kind of stuck when I got my first hat, 30 years ago,
Right.
and stuck with it.
Yeah, so we got
You.
Sean steered us down the hat route, but you didn't get to what you actually do.
I bend fucking hats. I get tutorials, support for those who are
Oh
abused
my god!
for
This
their
sound
habits
clip,
and their
this sound
hobbies.
clip is just getting better.
Some
For
say
anybody who travels through Texas and is traumatized by the abuse they get for their hat, can come to me. We'll talk about it and we'll deal with it.
Right. It'll all be good. Hey, I didn't give you shit about your head. It was that Maryland guy over there that gave you shit about your head.
I love how Sean just sprinkles his bullshit and just gets shit started and just slowly backs away from the camera. He's not even here.
That's what I'm here for.
It's all right. He's not used to having another white guy in the camera, so it's just both Sean and I look the same.
I test batteries a lot for the vaping community, do some other testing of devices and things like that, using part of my background, designing a lot of electronics that use batteries or discharge them or charge them or things like that. And about 200 different batteries now over the last 2.5 years for the vaping community and a couple other communities too, as things have spread, and a little bit of work, a little bit of consulting for some of the mod manufacturers, and now a little more work with the battery wrappers and other ones who are realizing a lot of these exaggerated ratings are getting called out on. Thank gosh, the community is, going, whoa. Or, they're speaking with their wallets now.
Yeah.
And these companies are listening.
So
And-
what other communities have you been working with besides vaping? Obviously, that's been a
Well,
big...
our RC community.
Okay,
primarily,
that makes sense.
A little bit with the flashlight community. Was just starting a tiny bit with the lightsaber community.
Oddly enough, I just gave somebody one of my only button-topped 18650s for his custom built lightsaber last week.
What they use. And these are, you think there's some mods that are works of art. Holy cow. Some of the hilts for these lightsabers are unbelievable because they go from the high-tech stainless steel and glass and polycarbonate beauties to full-on steampunk, like a rat rod rusted kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful.
They really are. I've seen one, and I bet where Sean just went right now is to go get his.
I did,
Yeah.
because this is relevant.
There we go. Yeah, and it's incredible that the flash on clash, the sound effects, that just unbelievable stuff. The artistry that you can do, and I never even dreamt. You always see people with a saber at a premiere or something, but you don't think there's a community behind that and how far it can go. But you look at vaping and how far it goes, and of course it makes sense.
Yeah.
And,
A buddy of mine just ran a 3-week class on how to build your own lightsaber.
wow. And I bet you movies like this, get a whole new generation of kids.
Yeah.
Into that, because they come back with, they get the Walmart saber or whatever the hot toy is or something for Christmas, and they use that, and then like, okay, can we go a little further? Because I saw something on Facebook, and daddy, or someone who's older, grew up with Star Wars or something like that, wants to take another leap, or someone like me who's just technically interested, and I won't be wielding a saber at a premiere, but man, just to build some really kick-ass, outrageous, high-tech kind of thing.
Sure. Festuan on the side said, besides the battery testing that you also do, you're also, I believe, you're a cotton tester, right? You're the cotton tester man.
Oh, well, totally disgraced, ashamed. No, I'm just. What was the phrase she used?
Yeah. You just taste. It was something like you just test the battery, not the.
You just test batteries. You don't know cotton. Something like that.
To go fully down the route of pretty gay from chat, I actually had a fully set up professionally made Jedi costume to go with that lightsaber that
it's part
never
of
fit.
the deal.
It will never fit again. I just gave it away to a friend who it fits, which sadly because it will never fit again. But I used to go to comic book conventions all dressed up and shit. It was fantastic.
This guy, Alaska Vader, who has an astounding Vader outfit and takes it very seriously and does tutorials and visits a lot of hospitals for kids who are there for some horrific reasons. And wow. And it seems like a pretty good guy, too. Pretty cool guy. But whole nother thing. But I just test batteries and mods and voltage drops and resistances and other things.
I also heard that you're a cotton expert, or supposedly a cotton expert. Can I get your thoughts on this?
There's a hell of an echo in here.
Yeah.
Refresh, John.
Apocalypse-colored cotton.
Yeah, so I know you test battery, not cotton, but
obviously the epitome in cotton technology for vapors.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, look at that packaging, though. I mean, from what I can see of it, it's got a gas mask on it, so it must be really cool.
It looks like herb or spice containers or something.
And here's the thing:
what it looks like.
Now, if you see here, they try to go for the wannabe black metal band font.
No,
but here's the problem. I can read it,
thing?
so you failed.
That's like the Armageddon logo or something, isn't it?
No, this isn't Bruce Willis cotton.
The gas masky thing, though.
Oh, right. I mean, I've seen it used in many iterations, but
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I never wanted to see that become a trend for vaping.
Yeah.
But it needs to match my bolt, so
there is the matchy.
Because I have a belt cap, and I need the cotton to match the mod.
Matchy is important. You got to have the tip work with the mod. Yeah, so I test shit.
Right. So you test stuff, and we had you on. Oh, it really was. It was a couple of years ago. That I think I pulled you off of Reddit or something, and we talked for a while about batteries. And you reached out this last weekend because you are, you've been relatively prolific with all the different cells that you've tested and the ones that you've said that kind of line up with the packaging or the wraps, and the ones that don't. And this is what this cell probably is because this is the numbers that it's actually spitting out regardless of what's on the label. Anyway, so you've been doing that for a long time, but you said this last weekend that you wanted to change stuff up a little bit. You want to go over that?
I had something called the MVA limit, maximum vaping amps limit, which was a limit that I had set up to say, what in my mind was telling the people, don't go here. Because everyone always says, how far can we go? How far can we go past the continuous? We can do that, right? How far can we go? Just power.
And that's the difference between what most people talk about, the continuous and the pulse rating, right, on a cell?
Well, yeah, but this had nothing to do with a pulse rating.
Right.
Because I don't do that. I'll never issue those because there's no standard for it. And it would just be abused all the hell anyway. I thought this other limit, especially using the word limit, wouldn't be. But it quickly became what a lot of people were recommending to other people to start at. Samsung 25R, yeah, it's a 20 amp battery, but Mooch's limit for it is higher than that. So, start there and see what you think. And I'm like, no.
No, if I remember, you said that's one of the few batteries you've reviewed that you said was underrated, that it can handle more than what's rated. But that's the only one that you said, but it's not a point.
And you don't, and it doesn't mean you don't go do that. And I will never, ever, ever tell someone how to vape themselves. The degree of risk you choose for yourself is your own. You can do whatever you want. I rock climb, and some friends of mine think that's insanity. You know, they'd rather mix up nitroglycerin in their basement, you know, with sledgehammers than rock climb. But it's what I've chosen. Some people drive a certain speed. Some people eat a half a stick of butter a day. You know, that's okay. But actually, that half a stick of butter thing sounds fracking awesome on asparagus. You know, grilled asparagus. Oh,
that does sound a little bit, you know, very American personal liberty sort of thing.
Sounds like fucking Paula Deen for breakfast.
No, not that. I'm talking about what you decide. You know, what the amount of risk that you undertake is your business, right? And I would agree with that. That's
yeah. Who are we to tell someone else? But I do have an issue with telling other people that's okay and starting there, especially someone who says, how low can I run a Samsung 25R in coil resistance wise? And it's got a 20 amp rating. Let's start them at 20 amps. Let's start them at 15. Let's let them see what that's like. Let them choose their own path, and then let them choose what risk level they'll take as they learn. We have 25 and 30 amp batteries now. We have 3,750 mAh 30 amp batteries. We have opportunities for tons of power for a new vapor to start from and find out what type of coils they want to use or what power levels they're at. You get a 2 battery 2700 mod, you know, running a 7500 mAh with an equivalent 60 amp rating. You know, namely, you can run a couple hundred watts out of it.
Yeah.
What? You know, and for a mech user, you know, if you need more power, you can go series. Otherwise, you know, you can go single. But choose for yourself. That's okay. But it was getting out of hand, and I was realizing that I'm spending too much time trying to talk to each person, saying, "Hey, you know, you just said that, but whoa, we should say this, da 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 da." And the best thing to do is just take it out. Just redo the tables, edit several hundred posts and test results.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound time-consuming at all.
No. It's. I don't think I'm going to put more than 250 hours into that.
So is the problem then what happened? What sounds like what happened is you put a limit out there, kind of like a speed limit, and people are like, "Cool, that says 40 miles an hour. I'm gonna go 50."
Well, yeah, that's the point where I can go over. And it's think of it as, you know, I always go to the car analogy for so many things. Your engine red lines at 7,000. People vaping at the MVA limit is saying to vape at the MVA limit was saying, hey, yeah, engine red lines at 7,000. So you know what? Every time you hit the accelerator, go to 7,000, 8,000, 9,000. See what you think. And we're like, no, you would tell them to shift way before you hit 7,000. You know, you don't have to go down the highway in first gear. So it's that kind of thing. And it just got too far. And the best thing to do was to pull back. And it tied in with so many other things going on. YouTube channel is coming up now. There's actually a crap load of stuff written on a whiteboard behind me for the first YouTube channel. The new test station is coming up. It's going to be moved permanently next year. So there's like this whole area is going to be part of it. And actually get the bedroom back as a bedroom as opposed to a test bench area there. Girlfriend is 2 thumbs up about this whole thing. You know, it's so cute to see her with a hammer going, we can build stuff. We can build it, right? We can get that shit out of the bedroom, right? Huh? And, but, you know, it's cool. And this became part of it. It doesn't exist. I'm not acknowledging it. I don't want to talk about it. It's going to disappear. I never had pulse ratings. There was a limit not to go near. I don't think we should be talking to people who are just starting about going that high. Let them work their way up. But I'm not forgetting high power vapors. One of the reasons I got this test station, and a lot of this stuff's been in the works for months. I decided to just do it all at once instead of over a couple of month period, because I realized in the end, it's just going to be easier to just go insane for a couple of weeks, is I'm replacing the pulse discharge graphs, which confused a lot of people and were really good for just real technophiles.
Yeah.
I know we're in somewhere. Okay. we talk about cotton so I remember where I was? Oh, the test station. Going to add 3 new performance parameters. Higher power vapors, I have nothing against. Sometimes I vape very high power levels. But what I think we can do a lot better is not throwing power at the situation, but choosing our batteries smarter and choosing our coils and our builds better, because typically it's the mech users that go much higher power levels. A regulated user has some easy options for dialing up. A mech user is going to keep coming down in resistance, less safety overall. It's just a bigger minefield for newer vapors. And I'm going to be adding some new performance specs to let you easily, just by looking at numbers like lower equals better, higher equals better, which one hits harder, which one runs longer, which one has more overall energy, maybe which one stays up there longer.
Yeah.
Which translates to harder hitting and longer vaping time. And with these 3 specs, which I'm not talking about in detail tonight, just because I may tweak what I put in or take out. There's several I can use, I think the 3, and start supplying those. It only takes like an hour of testing at the most. 2 of them take 5 seconds. Instead of a whole day of pulse testing that requires people to pull up multiple pulse discharge graphs, look at the voltage under pulse loading, just to find. No, people just go, oh, I'm just going to put a 0.08 coil on this thing and see what it's like. Now we can go, whoa, hey, hold on, use a VTC5A instead of your 25R, and you get a bunch of extra watts for free.
Right.
And if we go from a 3-core fused Clapton to a 2-core fused Clapton and go from 26 to 28 gauge here and 36 to 40 here, we got a 40% improved ramp up time. I think we have some opportunities to say we don't need to use a ton of power and then have to switch to a short pull because it burns the hell out of us. Use a coil that ramps up faster with a better battery. And now, because we don't need as much power, we still get the same or better ramp up time. Our batteries will last longer. It's safer. We don't have to recharge as often. We don't have to carry as many batteries. And if this was the 1950s, I would have a really fun smile on my face, a polyester tie, and I'd be saying things like, vape smarter, not harder. And, but essentially that's what it is. It's vaping smarter, but with a very different term for it. It's it'll be called something else.
So I think though that is going to be a very hard thing to break people of.
Hey, we brought MOSFETs, man.
What stupidity?
Where throwing power at it is the answer.
Always.
Right? It was the wattage wars back in the day. It was the concept of the build for what you want to vape does not I don't think it sticks with people because they would rather get a 200 300 watt mod if they want to vape that high because they want to keep the coil that they're vaping. Like and I think that's one of the hardest things you're gonna come up against is that you're kind of rewriting everything that they had been told and thought about. I'm just thinking about people who recently got into it. Or have
opportunities
been,
are.
You're changing the culture, man, and that's a hard thing to do.
It's the thing you can always, even if you say that and you go, we're not going to change anybody who's vaping now. We have an opportunity to affect what's said to people who start vaping from this point forward, which is always worth it. Right. So just for that, it can be worth it. And think of this: how many people 2.5 years ago fucking knew that E-Fests were 40 amp batteries?
Yeah. Massey's not wrong though. I mean, like take Sean and I as a perfect example. We've been talking for years, plural now, about how this particular 1.7 ohm coil is amazing if you throw a couple volts at it. You don't have to build a 0.08 to have a nice, warm, hot build. You just don't.
We have some ideas for things, and I want to talk to you guys about some other thoughts too.
Sure.
For ways to implement things like this. And I think we've got some ways. It's not a conversion process, and we're not going to throw you in the Thunderdome and whoever comes out alive, that's what we're going to do. It's, hey, we have some ideas and we have things that can get you a hotter vape so you don't have to recharge as often. That sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But they like looking at the clouds though.
But cloudage and flavor will still be there because otherwise why talk about it? You can challenge the coil builders. to come up with something. And maybe it's time to say, hey, let's just take a little step back. Let's drop the MVA limits. Let's take a look at the coils and stuff like that every 5 years. Let's just see where we are. Are there opportunities? 6 months later, you go, no. Then you go, all right, but it's worth trying. And I still think, even if nobody now changes, excuse me, if we can affect a little bit of what we tell new vapors, that's good. Just start at the continuous current limit and see what you think.
Change the culture, man. And
yeah, choose your own path then. But let's not start them really high up until they know maybe they're perfectly satisfied with a 0.17 on a VTC 5A.
Yep.
As a very relevant side note in here, I would just like to point out that Mass changed his hat halfway through your comments.
He did. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other one was freaking squeezing my head.
Mm-hmm. I knew it.
It's the old Plumes hat, and that flex fit. It's
one size fits most. One size does not fit most, or it doesn't fit all. I will put it that way. It doesn't fit me.
It was giving me a headache. Squeezing my mouth.
Just for warnings for everybody.
The takeaway, right? Your takeaway from this conversation, anyway, is that we as vapors, primarily the people in the chat who are interacting with vapors on a daily basis, we need to change the culture. And I think it's something that Brian's right. We've been preaching for a long time. You can get what you're looking for without going more watts, more power, or whatever.
2 words: heat flux.
Yeah, heat flux, and just telling others, go for whatever you want to go. It's what we're telling others. We're under increased scrutiny. Underwriters Laboratories, UL now, is working on vaping hardware standards that include batteries. Now, the FDA usually defaults to what the FDA, what UL wants. Like, why would the FDA recreate safety standards? They don't want to do that. They can pick something they like. So, what comes out of those committee meetings? It only takes the tiniest line, like protected batteries only, no user replaceable batteries, to make illegal, essentially, entire classes of devices,
right?
Or entire markets of batteries. If they say only protected batteries, whoa, that means no user replaceable loose cells anymore. Now, yeah, I know a lot of people saying, oh, we'll always be able to get it from China, blah, 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 blah. But it's not about us who find ways to circumvent things. It's about everybody else who can't, or people who are coming in and stuff like that. And it's just not good to have there anyway. So I think any opportunity we can take to appear on the news less, be a little safer, recharge our batteries less, use our coils up not as often, maybe use it up a little bit less juice because we're getting better flavor at a lower power level. All these little things can inspire someone to go, okay, God, all right, I'll try a 0.17. This miracle coil 0.17 or something, or I'll switch from my 25 Rs to VTC 5As next time I buy batteries.
This 0.17 thing still mystifies me because I got like a 0.38 in this, and probably a little less in the bolt, and it's way too motherfucking much at like 0.2.
But that's like a whole nother world because 0.17 is double the resistance for tens of thousands of vapors.
Yeah, I know. It's when I got the first, not the Phenom, the other one in.
The Cruiser.
There was an alien coil in it that was like a 0.08 or some shit on meter. And like I tried it once and it was fucking awful. Like
I like a hot vape, but I know what my risks are and what I'm going to do on
batteries.
I
like a hot vape too, but they're hot, and then I just burn the shit out of my thumb.
Well, okay, yeah. But a lot of people love.
Yeah. I like a reduced chamber hot vape between 25 and 30 watts.
They'll take a half-second pull.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is they're pouring in 200 watts to get the ramp-up time they need, but it's too hot to stick with, so you compensate by taking a shorter pull. Right. In my engineering mind, I start drooling, my eyes roll back in my head and go, that's really inefficient.
Yes.
Why not pull down the power, shorten the ramp-up time, essentially be more efficient? And you get all the benefits that go with it. Safety,
and enjoy that like 1 to 2 second moment of vaping instead of half second.
Well, and then your atomizers are just sitting there just sizzling juice after you're done with it, right? Just cooking it.
This is going to work for some vapors, but it'll also take into account of you're going to tell a fucking 18 to 24-year-old to enjoy their vape. Take your time with it, man. It's like I'm sitting there thinking of the demographic
but it's always
moved from, and yeah, it's like.
I agree. completely. But also the savagery when I started testing batteries I received. And now a couple years later, the community is starting to learn that, whoa, some of these batteries are overrated a little bit.
You have arguably done more for vaping than anybody else out there.
I'll disagree with that completely.
He's on freaking Tesla's video.
But thank you.
Have you seen that?
No.
You know you're mentioned on Tesla's videos, right? Mooch?
AVE.
No, Tesla. Their video. You are in the comments.
You're in the comments. He's in the comments of the video.
No, that was about Tesla. I don't think that was by Tesla.
No, I know, but it was on a Tesla video that you are brought up in the comments of a video that's like a year and a half old.
I'm getting my attorney to make a phone call then.
Battery Mooch, yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
It's not to discount the advocates at all, but the strides that you have made in educating vapors has been far and above almost anybody else. I think it's safe to say that you have the infinite respect of, at minimum, the four of us for that.
That's an astounding thing to hear, but I'll always disagree with that. But
that's fine, but it doesn't make it not true.
Okay. But I think there's an opportunity to initiate a long-term process. This is not something I'm saying will be done by summer. It's something you just start today. And then you see where it goes.
Hey man, I am all about small incremental changes to a better future.
And maybe you have to wait for. Is that me suddenly echoing? I didn't do anything.
Educating Sean on echo.
Let's see. It might be Sean. Let's see if Sean mutes himself when it stops. But maybe we say, hey, we can like I said before, we may not change anyone now. I don't want to change what anyone vapes. I want to change what they tell other people to do. If they decide to change it themselves too, that's great. But I want to give them reasons to. I want to challenge the community to create the coils that have this all make sense, essentially to make it come true. So I got a question. And I don't know if this has been an issue or not, but I saw it brought up when we started talking about Phil and Dimitri's tank that came out through an Oaken because you had that swing of mouth-to-lung vapors, and then for the longest time it was, big air holes, big flow, high wattage, and now you're starting to see that mouth-to-lung, basically tanks and community come back. Now, we got called shills for liking a tank that, apparently everybody else is liking, and we didn't say all positive things about it. I mean, we we're the Plumes of Hazard. We say whatever the fuck we're going to say. So have you had anyone say, okay, so all of a sudden a few weeks ago, Phil and Dimitri's come out with this mouth-to-lung tank, okay? You're not going to be pumping 200, 300 watts to that. Now, all of a sudden, Mooch, who is also on tasteyourjuice.com, basically starts coming out with this high wattage stuff is dangerous, use at your own risk. Let's try to show you how building and doing these things, building your coils and doing these things, you don't need to have that crazy wattage to get your ramp up and stuff like that. And the reason I ask is because I know it's going to be said, and it's better just to kill it right here and there, that this has nothing to do with a new tank someone's coming out with, or a new type of vaping that people are trying to push, or anything like that.
Does that mean I should not cash Dimitri's and check?
No, cash it. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
Cash it. Don't tell anybody.
No one has said anything to me about that at all, but thanks for bringing it up and giving me the idea.
Just remember, Mooch, never release your taxes.
Yeah. Executive privilege.
No, and I asked because I know that it was brought up during the last time.
That was also none of the reasons in the back of my mind. The MTL renaissance. There are all kinds of terms now people are saying. It's essentially the fad for MTL.
It's a cycle like everything else in vaping.
Cycle. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And that's just another reason to say, hey, it's good timing. If we've got tanks that can take advantage of a better coil, like better, there's no defect in our coils now. Maybe there's, a 0.12 vapor. We can get up to 0.17 and give them the exact same experience along with all the other benefits. And, again, just what he's recommending to other people. You know, we keep coming back to trying to change people, not just what they're recommending to other people. Choose what you want to do yourself, but I'm hoping we have enough reasons to say, I like 0.1 to 0.12. All right, I'll buy one of your damn 0.15 to 0.17 coils and give it a shot. Not mine. I won't be selling them. But, you know, whatever comes out of this. I don't have nothing to do with coils. I don't know enough about it.
So
and
the one thing that we can do at least is find the old video where you were on for your debut and post an update at the beginning of that description with a timestamp to this video, so that people know to come watch this video if they catch that one later and catch the update to the methodology. And that might go a long way there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any information that's different from this one, then yeah, particularly if there's any limit, you know, discussion of MVA limits in it, then
see, that's the thing is I don't think it was, because back in the day I think
it was like October 15. I don't think there's anything MVA in it. So, but you know, certainly, you know, for any new things. So I don't think there's anything in it that this directly contradicts what's back there. Back then, you know.
But everybody who watches that should probably watch this too anyway.
Oh, okay.
Probably. We could definitely put a link to it. That's fine. We can do that. That's easy enough. So, I guess my question is, why go back and retest everything? Can you not just clear it?
No, not retesting. Just eliminating references to MVA limit.
Oh, okay.
Eliminating the references to that. They're already off the tables. The tables are updated. They've been up there, and you know, things like part of the confusion is going to be, you know, everything's not reconciled now between test reports and the tables. But the tables are always the latest information. I'm going to start emphasizing that more. Always defer to the tables, because I've got hundreds and hundreds. I don't want to use the word thousands, but it might be there. Hundreds and hundreds of test reports across 4 sites to adjust, and it's gone. I've got like half of them done, but there's a lot more to go. Excuse me. And there was part of your question that I didn't get to. Not retesting, but just getting rid of that aspect of it. Pulse discharge graphs will remain with the old tables because all the data is valid. It's just I want to be able to test more different batteries, and I'm trying to test smarter and give better information at the same time. I think these performance specs, which will particularly appeal to higher power vapors, because now they can pick the battery that, you know, they can know how these batteries will actually perform without having to go, oh, I am not looking at some damn graphs. And, I'll just keep using my 25 Rs and bumping up the power instead, going, whoa, instead of bumping up your power this week, let's just look at this number. Is it lower than your 25R? That means it's going to hit harder. So, you know, maybe get a couple of those batteries.
Okay.
And then just recommend you don't go over the CDR. And all my tables are going to say that. And the manufacturer's CDR, if it's, you know, is what I will put down. The confusion now is the Samsung 30Q and the Sony VT6, I'm rating at 15 amps, which is what the manufacturer rates it at. I had higher numbers than that. Now they are cool running 15 amp batteries versus hotter running 25 amp HG2. They're exactly the same batteries, but by using the manufacturer's number and my rating exactly the same, there's no confusion. Mooch, the data sheet says this, you say that, and there's no instance of me recommending something above the continuous rating of a battery. So there's some adjustments there.
Mooch, let me ask, and you can answer this question or not answer it. So have you gotten any legal pushback from any of these things lately? Not necessarily you testing batteries, because I'm sure manufacturers, you know, you're the one that shows up on Facebook with the tagline, you know, all battery manufacturers hate him, you know, and they have the picture of Mooch sitting there. But have you had any kind of legal pushback that you can talk about, or anything having to do with these tests and limits that you had put out over the years?
This is something that's been in the works for a long time. It's something that I've been frustrated over. It's something that I just didn't want to deal with all the work that was going to be a result of changing these limits and talking to people and everything else. But then with the YouTube channel coming up, with the new test station coming up, with the ideas for building smarter, all these sort of things. It just rolled into this perfect storm of do it now, do it all once, and don't have this inconvenience twice a month for the next 3 or 4 months as you try to do all these different things. Just
Okay.
get everything done all right now. And,
So what about the other way? So you're mentioning that some of your ratings are going to go back to manufacturer, which is a lower number. What about the ones that you've tested where your number is lower than the manufacturer?
those all stay.
So ones that you find are lower will not change, but ones that you find are higher will go to will default to manufacturer.
Will default to the manufacturer. Yeah. It's just essentially not going over the manufacturer's rating for things. I think that's a consistency that will help people, particularly newer vapors who are confused by things. And to be able to just go, oh, yeah, Illume.com has the Samsung 30Q at 15 amps. Mooch rates it at 15 amps. But if they come to my site and see it at 19 amps, then I'm getting a lot of messages. Whoa, what's going on? Who's lying? And there was an awful lot of time spent on that. And I think just a consistency across the board and just say, look, they're exactly the same batteries. These are 15 amp batteries that run cool. This is a battery at 20 amps that runs hotter. Now, if you think about it, that tells you everything you need to know about how those 3 batteries compare.
Yeah.
But I'm using their ratings instead of mine for that.
All right, so does that kind of wrap up that thing? Because I have another question for you, a separate topic.
For me, I think.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Festuin said he has a burning question for the battery expert. So with manufacturers moving to 21XXX and 20XXX, are my antique but beloved shelf queens going to become useless when he can't buy his 650s or 350s?
18650s, 18350s, I have no idea because none of the big manufacturers make them. So it's totally up to China.
Yeah.
100% up to China for the 350s. Now, they're used in a lot of things other than electronic cigarettes. That's probably the smallest market for those things.
Yeah.
In terms of flashlights and all kinds of other stuff. Now, 18650s are used by the billions per year.
Yeah.
They will be around for a very long time, which is good because you can't store batteries. Aren't yes, technically, of course, you can put them in the closet, but they don't store well. They like being used. Yeah. What's good of stocking up for batteries if you only have them for 2 years? You might as well find a way to come off vaping now instead of, the trauma of coming off it in 2 years from now.
They like to be used. That's a way of putting it.
Or you switch the lipos now or something like that, or start making your own batteries. So I think there's not going to be any problem there. If there's too many things a smaller battery works for. Also, I'm thinking if 2700s, what do we have, 30 of them now? By the time we have 100 of them, I don't think that'll be an exaggeration. By the time we have 100 of them, maybe because of the big 4 cranking out millions and millions of 20 millimeter batteries, maybe there'll be price pressure on the 18 millimeter batteries. And maybe, prices can come down a bit. I don't know if we'll ever see that or if someone will pocket it further up the supply chain.
The chain, yeah.
But I don't think it's going to result in higher prices, any lack of availability. 6 syllables. That's why. Availability. By far, 1 trillion to 1, our biggest concern is what the new hardware standards and battery regulations are going to be. Because that can, overnight, immediately make anything we can pull out of a mod illegal.
Right.
And that'll be an issue of 2018. It's been IP theft, child appealing labels and things like that reduced for 2017. It's kind of the hot topic for retaining our rights and what can be used against us. Now I think next year it's going to be a lot more towards these impending hardware regulations and what's going on. And I think anything we can do to just stay off the damn radar is also a good idea.
Yeah, not bad. And you said stay off the news. And I don't necessarily think we need to stay off the news. I just think we need to stay off the news when there's something on fire.
Well, yeah, like us.
Right. Like people's legs because they're stupid.
So it's and I'll always fight against using that word for something like that too, because I've realized through all the questions I get how completely unintuitive any battery we use is. Because if you get a AA, you can do anything to it, and maybe it gets hot, maybe it leaks a bit. You take off the plastic wrap when you get it. The metal shell is non-conductive. It's only the ends that are conductive. Right. So there's nothing we've ever seen that points to anything we have to do with these batteries we're getting.
Right.
And
These high discharge batteries, right? The batteries that are made.
which
power.
much higher power.
Yeah.
You know, 100 to 1 increase in power, literally 100 to 1. You get a watt or two out of a AA, and you can get 100 watts, 200 watts if you short circuit it out of a good 18650. I will be putting out just a refresher, battery safety. I'm calling it back to basics. And the first one is battery safety. Then the next one is going to be calculating battery current for the 2 types of mods. And just a couple of them. Say, look, Pat, if someone asks, you know, a new vapor, just give them this so they know. We think, don't take off the plastic wrap.
If you're calling it back to basics, can I suggest a battery for testing for those first episodes? I took a picture of this. This is actually a picture that I took.
I've heard of a Samsung battery. I've never seen one.
This is Smithsonian in DC when I went up there at the Museum of American History. So this was like 1850s, 1860s.
It's awesome they had a label made for a battery that old.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That was a commercially available battery. That's freaking awesome.
Yes,
Can I imagine the mod that came in?
Yeah. So apparently these, if I remember correctly, these guys were used in labs and with telegraph sets in the early telephones. Okay. Even the medical field used a type of battery, jar for the weird medical devices that they had back in the day. So
when shocking, it was everything. That's cool. What do you buy? It, open it up, pour in the acid, and then go.
Solutions of either acid or copper sulfate, and you had yourself a battery.
Then you had to go fly a kite, right, with a key on it.
Yeah,
fly it to the thing.
That's the recharging. That's extra money. The key costs more.
Yeah,
you have to go to imrbatteries.com to buy that recharging set.
Xtar's first product.
Yeah, well, it's okay until you need the multi-slot version. Then all the kites get tangled up and the keys touch.
And you cross the streams.
Right. Matt, thanks for showing that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
So a relevant question that I think we talked about the first time you were on. Maybe it's changed since then. Since we're talking about battery safety and like general use of our cells, especially because there's some of us that have historically been regulated mod users that have recently become unregulated mod users, me, that never had to really worry about when a cell was at an end of a cycle, right? Because your mod told you, and you took it out and you stuck it in a charger. These days, with a well-built mod like a box mod, or I find that Limelight actually lasts longer in general than the other ones. When I'm done with a cell and I notice that it's not vaping very well, I take it out, and it's around 3.5, which is a little bit lower than what you get for a DNA product, but not by much. Because by the time it hits there, it's like, the vape's kind of crappy. I seem to remember before you were saying that they're safe to discharge down to 2.5 volts.
They're rated for 2.5 for every single cycle. That's the manufacturer's rating. It'll last. Like a continuous current rating is essentially a statement about cycle life. You can run it at this level continuously down to 2.5 volts for this many cycles before you lose this percentage of capacity or increase in internal resistance. Sometimes there are 2 numbers there. Right. So they're made to just go down. Now, they'll last longer if you stay above 3, but it's not like they don't disintegrate at 3.2 or 3.1 or 3 or anything like that. In fact, a lot of times for people like the DNA 75s that were having a very high soft cell cutoff, I say set it like, and 75 watts for a single cell is a lot unless you're using like a BTC 5A or something. Yeah. So the sag was tremendous. I was saying set it to 2.8. If you let it dip to 2.8 under load at 75 watts, it's going to snap up to 3.3 when you're done.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right, which is great. That's exactly what I wanted to make sure that was still consistent, because I remember before you were on, I had been told that 3 was that, you really need to keep above 3. And you were saying 2.5. I'm like, oh, that's good to know, because I've actually recycled cells before because something had discharged them too low, either a mod that was malfunctioning to drain them.
No, it's what happens. Our community's obsession with condensing everything down to a single word.
Yeah.
For brevity has led to massive oversimplification, which is good because it can make things easier to relate to somebody when you post online. but it also means that 18 different things can all be oversimplified down to the same exact word or number.
Right.
And what I think happened is, well above, at 3.0 volts, anything below that, your battery loses a little bit of battery life. Right. And that got condensed to don't go below 3. And then someone took that and said, never go below 3. And someone took that and said, it explodes at 3.
Right. That's right.
Each one of those are shorter and shorter, but you lose less and less. You have less and less of what the original meaning was,
message
the 3.0 volts. Yeah, the message.
Yeah.
That's why I always say education, there's very little about our batteries that is safe, unsafe, good, bad, high, low performance. It's everything about them is gray area. We just have to commit to learning a couple of things, and then that's it for the rest of your life. And starting that, but so many people just like, it's the cross and clove, the garlic and all this stuff in terms of battery talk, but you just learn it once and then never again.
It's mildly amazing how much I was able to teach from what I learned in vaping to the guy building lightsabers.
Okay.
By the way, on a completely offhand note regarding lightsabers, do you have a suggested battery for them?
Not yet. I'm just looking into it. I have the key power protected for 3200. I was going to test that just to get an idea of the voltage drops. But let me tell you, if you've got a tri NeoPixel blade and you're running at full bore, lots of flash and clash, and all that kind of stuff, then you're pulling a lot more current than these 10 amp batteries want, and you should be looking at HG2s and something like that. And even though it's lower capacity, you'll get longer runtime, and it'll run a lot cooler. But it's hard to find protected HG2s.
Yeah, his site suggested Trustfire, and I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest batteries, Trustfires, and it's just like, what?
I tend not to touch things with fire in their name personally.
Yeah.
I think I actually gave him an old Orbtronic that I had that's working pretty good for him.
Yeah, and they're reliable, good brand. They rewrap some good stuff, and I think they source some of their own Chinese cells or something. I'm not quite sure, but they're on my trusted site list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's about it. Yeah, that was not an Arnold impression.
Was there anything else you wanted to cover, Mooch?
Yeah.
That was most of it for me. Apologies for all the confusion to the community, and it's going to take a while to reconcile everything. But the tables rule all, and the tables are being updated daily. So, as I catch things, as someone goes, oh, wait, what about this? Oh, okay, yeah, that. And then I realize, other things. So, it's coming along. The YouTube channel will be up in a week or two. The test station will be up hopefully around that same time. And just my apologies for all the confusion now and for the change in doing things. But it's too many people took it too far.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm sure people appreciate your apology, but at the same time, I think anybody that's reasonable would suggest that what you were doing was you were doing your best to provide a safe limit. And if people misread that, then and it was confusing, then fine, you'll just rephrase it. But I think this is all a learning process for a lot of us. That we're trying to figure out how to present information in a manner that people will hear and learn and understand.
Especially when technically you can do something to a battery that is beyond what the continuous rating says you can do. And that makes a lot of people very confused. Or the best friend goes, I've been using a 0.06 for 3 years now, no problems at all.
Right.
But you tell them, no, don't go below 0.17. What you now have to do is find someone willing to take 5 minutes to listen to why you're starting with that. And it's just hard to find that time and do things with it. But
sure.
It's for me, the best way to do is just go, I'm not going to have any mention of that anymore. I'm going to try to get rid of all the mentions of it and just say it's continuous. If you want to go beyond it, learn a little more and find out what's right for you.
Yeah.
And they can take it from there.
Honestly, in the community, I don't think anyone else should be updating or changing or putting out any information about tests that you've done other than yourself. So if anyone is going to do this, you are the man to do it. People listen to you. People trust you. I honestly don't think you should be having to apologize. But I understand that, I mean, that's why on some of the tech times that I'd done, I started putting, do at your own risk, because I had a lot of people coming back and saying, oh, I'm trying this and this happened, or, I mean, the variables are just insane. So, thank you for the apologies, but I honestly, and I got a kick out of it. Sorry it took me so long to read your message. I saw you sent it on Saturday. But I got a kick out of your message, talking about the monetary thing. And I'm like, he thinks he costs us money. But we wasted hours of his life. We're the ones that cost him money.
That's right.
I'm asking people to change the videos, my older videos, and to get the MPA limits out. And we'll be shooting some videos and stuff, and I think that's the right thing for me to do.
Yeah, no, and that's understandable, and it's appreciated. But but I honestly think that by you doing this, people might listen, and let's hope that they do. So that way, especially the people who are pushing, who are reviewers, who are working at vape shops. And so this should, if you're listening and you're watching, for all three people watching and in chat, if you know one of those vape shops that have been mentioned before that have Mooch's charts and they push battery safety and stuff like that, this should be up there with all of that. So this information,
please download the new tables, and
go.
I will be annoying people every week with that now. Usually it's just every 2 or 3 months, because it's always interesting. Someone will typically no, it's not worth mentioning that, but someone will post something from like December 2015 and say, hey, this guy's done a whole bunch of tests. Look at this. There's like 18 batteries on this chart. And I'll come back and go, there's been a couple more tests done since then.
Mm-hmm.
And you post a link and they realize, 162 or whatever the hell it is, 18650s, and they're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, this is not one table posted for posterity. It's a living document, and when the new test station goes back up, it's going to be updated multiple times a week, like it was earlier this year. So I ask everybody to do that. Again, yes, I'm asking you to do work, but it's to get the latest knowledge, because my stuff does change, and I know when people find out, they're mad as hell. But it's always been a living document, and will be a living document as things get better, as the community reacts, as I learn from the community what they're looking for too. So I ask for everyone's patience with that too. Thank you.
No problem. So before we go, I do want to do the randomizer. I actually just ran a randoed it 3 times, and the number that I came up with is TJ Sherrick. So TJ Sherrick, I will use the information that you've given here me in the form. I will load up this thing, and I will send you your package full of cool stuff, courtesy of Anakin. So thank you, Anakin, and thank you to TJ. I hope this reaches something or someone that they can use it. Cool.
Yay.
And the winner. Yeah, Ahmed, I'm asking if we have the picture.
Oh yes, let me go pull up.
Yeah, I got the link here for you.
Yeah, we got the winner. So if you want to put the link, I can pull the image down and put it up. Oh man, can you pop the image up then? Because
I don't know which one you picked.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. It's the first one down there, or second one on the list.
There you go. And wait, let me do the drum roll. I'll screen share.
Drum roll, please.
That was wet.
There's space here in front of me.
Let's go! Cisco with the win.
I know
the Uncle Fester series.
Oh, wait, I should probably put that back up so everyone can appreciate.
Yeah, put it back up.
Just a side note, fucking the lack of entries after. There were no entries after the show, by the way. Y'all are fucking pathetic. So shame. Shame.
There were a couple.
I'm using my coffee mug.
Yeah, there were.
Robert Lawson put one up like today.
Yeah.
I saw that one, but it's not Uncle Fester. We want to do giveaways, but no one wants No one with vapors that don't want free shit. We're a unique bunch.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're not throwing it at them.
Merry Christmas, TJ.
No.
Just replied in chat. Absolutely, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to get this out tomorrow. No promises.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. I got it covered. Read chat.
All right, good. No. Well, yeah, that one. I'm talking about mine.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. All right, everybody. Just a reminder, we are not here next week because it is Christmas Day, but we will be here with bells on. Oh, fuck. Does that mean that's the first? Oh, my God. It's New Year's Day. The next one is New Year's Day. We're going to do it New Year's.
I mean, that's
Oh
fine.
my
I mean,
goodness.
you don't have a New Year's Day tree to celebrate around.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that'll be all right. All right, so
You
we're
can
up
sleep
next
till
week.
dinner.
We'll be back with bells on the first day of the damn year, 2018, boys and girls. We will see you there. Thank you, Mooch, very much for coming out. And
Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, everybody else on the side and in the chat that took time out of their Mondays to come say hello. Mooch, anytime, buddy. You ever got something to talk about, you just let us know.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Later on, everybody. Peace out.
Yo.
I was waiting for Wu